This is Crew, who's crying earlier, but he's had, what, 6 weeks old, and he's cried nonstop. You get about 15 good minutes a day. And down here earlier, he was uncomfortable. Is he more comfortable than he normally is?
He is.
Okay, so right there, I know there's a neck problem. You can feel he's subluxated right there. So normally, you said he's uncomfortable laying down, he just screams.
On his back.
I'm gonna end up liking that. Instead of this torticollis, which in my experience is where a lot of the colic comes from, they're just uncomfortable. So is this your good 15 minutes a day?
Yeah, I know.
She said he gets 15 good minutes a day. So that's just a little impulse. Obviously it doesn't bother him, but it does stimulate the nervous system, so you see his hands and legs go. I've showed this on videos before, but my preference with kids is to not just use the instrument. I use the instrument on top of my finger so that I can feel the vertebrae. So one thing that's big for digestion and for spine health is make sure they have plenty of tummy time. Is he doing tummy time?
He is. He doesn't like it.
So this is why it's so important to have, he doesn't like it. So this is why it's so important to have your kids checked. I mean, we have babies that are 1 and 2 days old. So he doesn't like to go into extension. Look at his face. So I'm moving his back into extension like this, which is what you need when you do tummy time. So usually they won't like tummy time, so they cry and then you pick them up. So, and then what happens is it slows down their development. So if I go here, see, he should be able to plank, and his core isn't developing, right? So there, that's a little better. So that side's a little better. So I'm gonna work with extension. So I can feel his spine feels really rigid, and sometimes that's from sleeping in car seats too. Is he sleeping in car seat?
He doesn't sleep.
Doesn't? Okay.
But he does sleep in a swing a lot of time.
Yep.
So that was
So probably the swing, yeah. So what I always recommend is put them on a flat surface, because you can imagine if you sleep on like a hammock or a recliner, what that's gonna do to your spine. And for them, it makes them stiff. Right here, I can feel his spine is like humped like that. So we wanna get those. He doesn't like it either. So now it's flatter. Totally different. You can see how my fingers will go in there now? Totally different. You're gonna feel better today. Okay, and that is it for today. So we'll probably check him 2 or 3 times next week. Okay, here's Crew again. So the last time we saw him was how many days ago?
4.
4 days. And then so you said he had 15 good minutes a day?
Right.
Where are we at now after one visit?
Probably about 30 to 40 minutes.
So double.
Yeah.
He's still crying a lot?
Yeah.
So we'll see if I can make him uncomfortable again, where before that all made him uncomfortable. Yeah, he doesn't love that. It's not bad though. Let's see, tummy time, how do you do it? So I'll look for rigidity. So as we talked about before in previous videos, that swings and car seats, if they sleep in swings and car seats, it creates thoracic rigidity so that they can't go up into extension and therefore can't hit these developmental milestones that they need for crawling and walking, and it actually plays a role in cognitive development too. I'll check this neck. See, he wants to roll with me. And now he's flat. It's good. Perfect. Different, right?
Yeah.
So they get uncomfortable in their neck just like adults. Birth can be traumatic. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. All right, here's Crew again. This is 1 week later. So if you remember day 1, it was what, 15 minutes without crying, right? Day 2, he could go 45. And now you said he's pretty much like this all day, right? And he's hungry, and he's just super pleasant. So, I mean, I can see he's doing the suckle thing, so I can tell he's hungry. Is he doing normal baby stuff, like just when he's hungry, or?
Yes, yep, and he's starting to coo and kind of, like follow the light and things more than before, that he was just wouldn't even pay attention to because he was too
so uncomfortable.
busy. Yes.
Yeah.
So we're really seeing his personality more in the last week than we ever have.
Feel pretty good. Okay, so you can see chiropractic works for kids in colic.